All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone. This is the first ever episode of the Trash Panda Film Society podcast. I am your host, Cameron May, and I am joined by my fellow co-hosts.
This is Andrew Watts, and along with me is...
Ron Sieber.
Oh.
Fresh out of prison.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
you get loose, you gotta get active.
What?
What?
What does that mean?
Nothing, don't worry about it. We're here to have a good time and talk about movies.
Oh my God.
Ron's attacking
Sounded
you.
like a racist Peloton shoot-off.
Ron will be attacking you by your car. There
Ron's
tonight.
now facing charges.
Yeah.
Recently released from a
Ron.
major university.
Only park in lit areas, folks.
Ron's going back to prison after this podcast, so let's have fun. Let's have
He's
some
on
fun.
work release right now.
Don't search my bag and don't tell my parole officer.
Oh, jeez. But yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's go.
yeah, with no further ado, this is our first episode. So if it sounds like we don't know what the fuck we're doing, there's a reason why.
Absolutely.
This is gonna kind of be the sort of show where we make it up as we go, and we figure it out, and we hone, and we build, much like a Rocky montage.
Or we try to build and hone, and it doesn't. It just gets worse.
It actually descends.
Yes, it
like
devolves
Taxi Driver.
like
Yeah.
a serial killer, which is how I think this whole mess is going to go.
That's a little more realistic.
I know.
Thank you for your
It's gonna be a fun ride regardless.
Have you ever ridden in a burning car? It's kind of like that.
What the?
No, continue.
Only pull the pins on the locks. That way they can't get out.
Continue. Wait, just fucking wait. Just wait a minute.
Don't go to your car.
Wait
then,
a minute.
Cameron.
I don't intend to now.
That's good.
Check your brake
Jesus.
lines.
Okay. Well, so
This whole podcast is just set up to ways to murder Cameron.
the Trash Panda Film Society. The Trash Panda Film Society podcast is an offshoot of the Trash Panda Film Society. I would imagine that a fair amount of our listenership knows who you are, all two of you.
Yeah.
But if anybody, they're on the wrong side of the methadone climb and they find this podcast, Trash Panda Film Society is a group of dark, weird individuals that enjoy booze and strange, unheard of, off-brand cults. We do secret screenings in the Roanoke, Virginia area that are available to those who are willing to come into our strange cult by invite only. Not because we're even trying to be dicks, but largely because of we can't legally show movies to the public without paying lots of money that we don't have. So we've been doing a series of secret screenings for the last almost 2 years and had a blast with it. We formed a really cool group in town of people who are rediscovering films that never really got the appreciation they deserved. And so as a further outlet to just talk about the films that are featured at those screenings and to talk about other shit that we just don't really ever get the opportunity to show, since we only meet once a month, we started a podcast to talk about those things as well as, Andrew's strange sexual habits.
That's true. One of them involves Gary Oldman posters. Also, I'd like to point out about a minute and a half ago, if you heard a strange yet subtle noise of clicking metal, it was Ron opening a sort of beverage. I just wanted to point that out.
Chocolate milk.
That's...
I'm
Chocolate
glad
milk
that they
has
make.
full time.
I'm glad that they've started making Yoo-Hoo in 40-ounce cans.
metal cans.
And carbonated.
It's
It's life-changing, I have
It's
to say.
important to hydrate.
It
I tell
is.
you,
It's
when you're on the
important.
Greenway at noon on a weekend, you
Best
just
way to hydrate.
crack open a 40 of Yoo-Hoo.
40 of you.
Guys, if this podcast teaches you anything, it's to stay hydrated.
We're big believers.
Big believers.
Big believers in that. So normally, I think the way that the format of the podcast is going to go is that we are going to cover 3 movies in a podcast. Just talk back and forth our thoughts on them, what we like, what we found fucking funny, what we didn't like. Just kind of see where it takes us. But tonight, being our first one, we thought we'd just shave that number down to 2 and take kind of the first slot just to introduce ourselves a little bit, talk about who we are. So actually, Not that it has to be a full-on like Mark Twain bio with subtle hints of racism in it, but
That's exactly what I was going to do.
is that what you had?
That's
Do you
what
have
I-
your antebellum growings up?
I have my
Growing.
book in literal sheepskin.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Why don't we tell everybody a little bit about who we are, and you don't have to give a definitive list. We're gonna probably do an episode soon where we say, all right, name your 5.
Oh.
Your handshake 5 is what I call them. It doesn't have to be. That doesn't mean it's the 5
That's
best
what Ron
movies
did
ever.
to get into prison.
Handshake 5 is what landed Ron in
Gotta
prison.
pay the bills.
He went into the community inn and he asked a man for a handshake 5. And let me tell you, Denham was scarred that day. He
Did
ended
not
up.
go over well.
Cops were there 3 minutes
Really
flat.
blown out of proportion, if you ask me. I think it all could have been brushed under the rug, but I did not accept
A man died, Ron.
My God. So we'll eventually do like
Our
a
top
further in-depth what's our top 5. But tonight's just gonna be,
It's a tough one.
say who you are, and then like, what your anything you want to share personal about yourself, and then finally, what type of movies you like, what you're drawn to, that kind of thing. So, Andrew, you start.
I don't answer question. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. And name's Andrew. Really just love movies, mostly. Go towards. I feel like Cameron and me share some. I feel like all three of us share some sensibilities of like specifically dark comedy, thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy, action, mystery. That not much of drama or romance or anything like that, but just kind of dark, gruesome stuff with large body count.
Yeah, genre
Yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will tell you this, and it won't change from when we do our top 5, but my favorite film is, I can tell you that right now, is Jaws, 1975's Jaws by Spielberg. To me, it's a perfect movie. It's like it is a solid 2 hours long, but you can't cut a bit out of that movie without it being
Say
like,
this.
it's perfect.
It's no Piranha 3 Double D.
I will come over this desk, and you will have a come to Jesus moment. You
You
understand?
will get fully Pentecostal as I fist your ass.
Like a boa python to a dead cow.
As pythons are no, watch Nat Geo, motherfucker. They're nasty. They've got priors. They're the R. Kelly of the nature.
They're the Ron Sieber.
Stay pure, stay out of Florida.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's really all. I just have a love for movies. Love doing the Trash Panda Film Society stuff. That's a lot of fun. We've built a big group of degenerates and people who have dependency issues with alcohol. So that's a lot of fun. Get
Now we
together
all
every
gather
month.
and-
Yeah, it was like, let's get a bunch of booze hounds together on a Saturday at night and feed them a little bit and give them a
Hey,
lot
give them
of
a
beer.
bunch of booze and put on Vice Squad.
Yeah.
See what happens in the parking lot.
See what
later.
happens with a pimp named Ramrod. So yeah, no, that's about all I have to say about myself. I'm excited to do this podcast. We've been talking about it for years, like a bunch of idiots,
Oh,
we're
man.
gonna do it. And
One day.
Bunch of
Well,
and
nonsense.
guess
guess
what?
what? Today is that day.
Here we
This is
are.
that
Look
day.
at us now.
Yeah.
You ever think
It's pretty incredibly unimpressive, guys, I
Yeah.
have to say.
we have a picture of the globe behind us?
Yeah.
The planet Earth
The
Oh,
planet-
man.
is behind us right now.
Out of our reach.
Out of our.
We don't even.
That's why it shows us on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
That far away from glory.
There we are.
Impenetrably
It's
far.
us and, like, that necklace that.
No, go on. Go on.
Let's hear it. Finish
Oh,
that.
finish
That
it.
necklace that Armstrong left. His little chemo daughter gave it to him, and
Oh
he
my
put it on the moon.
God.
Right? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's
Guys,
by the way.
half the podcast will be Cameron just saying fictitious things that are not true or backed up
Okay.
by evidence
Well,
or logic.
The movie is called First Man, and in it, they posit that before he moonwalked,
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong supposedly, had a dead cancer daughter.
Okay.
And
Jesus.
that, she gave him a little Tic Tac necklace. It was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I didn't have much of an allowance. I don't know the full story. I haven't read the book.
Make a Wish didn't come through.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Not for
Went to
him.
Lance. Got to go on the moon.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and he left that on the moon.
And so, yeah, at the end of that movie, they say that, on the moon, there's a bunch of just Wallace and Gromit porn. There's a few footsteps from Neil Armstrong. Is it Neil or Lance? Lance is the one with one ball, right?
yeah, he's
Okay.
the one that
Neil,
with spikes.
good, making sure. Making sure.
Yeah, Neil
Apologies.
deGrasse Armstrong.
Neil deGrasse Armstrong.
Rides a bike really slow,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
at
Lance.
the end of that movie, he apparently smuggled the shitty little necklace his dead
Okay.
cancer daughter gave,
Oh,
and throws it into a little hole.
Really lucky that it didn't
Which
kind of cause that.
I feel like, to
blow
be
up.
fair, I throw my 3-year-old's art away every day. Because
math is
it's
very
really
precise.
fucking bad.
It's not good, is
It's
it?
embarrassing.
They
It
really
lets
got to
me
calculate
down,
the
it
weight
lets him
distribution.
down.
I feel like that necklace was kind of risky.
That'd be hilarious. If,
I
like,
mean,
the whole, like, why did they blow up?
Yeah, why did the shuttle explode upon launch? Well, there was something
Something lodged in Neil's
in Neil's suit. It caused it combusted instantly. It looked like a shitty necklace made by a little cancer
Made
girl
by a
that we're
little-
verifying now.
We're verifying little cancer
It was
girl
6
necklaces.
ounces too heavy. All went to hell after that.
It was
Everything had to be calculated.
perfectly.
We didn't count on child cancer. That
Thanks,
escaped
Neil.
our math. All right.
For
All right.
everything.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Ron, I'm done.
Moving on. Ron.
Moving on. Yes, Ron. I am a cinematic plebeian, so the fact that I'm here, I am one of the little addicts that they found on the streets, bring in and start showing these to. Been working with Andrew for a little while.
Yeah.
Although we parted ways, now we're back together for this podcast. So I'm excited to be here. Hopefully, I'll have some outsider's insight, and mostly I'm probably going to get shit on, but I'm mentally prepared for that. That is why you heard a metallic clink earlier on. So
Most of how this is going to go.
that is how this
No,
is going to go. Yes.
I dig that because I think that's what's going to make it work. Is that by and large, I have a feeling you haven't seen any of the movies I'm going to show. There's even a chance Andrew hasn't seen, but Andrew's pretty cinematically literate. Like I'd say more than 80-90% of people.
I would say it goes in. There's a pecking order, like those little Russian nesting dolls, where it's Cameron is at the top of the hierarchy.
Full on Asperger's.
Full on. Really has a like goes into public is like, does he not know about social etiquette? It's like no, he's just swapping cups over, and then it goes me and then Ron. I feel like is the higher the
I
pecking
feel like
order.
that's apt.
Yeah,
That's astute.
yeah. I feel like because well, never mind. We'll get into it later.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a fun fact about what you told me the other night, but don't worry about it.
I'm titillated.
Well,
I don't,
Jesus Christ.
Okay, you know,
Hanging
I'm
on
just
to
gonna go
Something's
ahead.
going to come to light about Ron later.
No, I'll just go ahead and say it. We were talking about the movies, and we were talking about Nightbeast.
Oh
And,
yes, yes.
and
This is,
Ron-
Oh my
this is
God.
quite hilarious.
And Ron, and I'm like, what did you think of the movie? And he's like, yeah, man, it's pretty cool. That Native American rap was awful and pretty sweet. I was like, what are you talking about?
What?
He's like, Nightbeast. I was like, and I looked up what he's talking about. He's like, Ron, this is Nightbeasts.
Yeah.
A little hidden mess.
Ron watched the
Oh.
wrong movie.
I watched
Oh.
3 movies. I watched 3 movies for this.
You watched a bonus movie.
I watched the bonus
You watched
movie.
Nightbeast.
You watched Nightbeast.
We gotta
and
dedicate some time for Nightbeasts.
we're gonna have to watch. Okay, we have some homework, Andrew. This
I know.
time
It is-
we
it
have to
is-
now watch.
But he just,
I will say it is not as dated as the production of Nightbeast.
It's probably an asylum film, like last 10 years.
it is
Yes,
it is
yeah.
it is 2010.
2010.
Nightbeasts.
But it seems like it was filmed before Nightbeast.
It came out in
It was quite
2010.
glorious, I have to say.
That's
As a
awesome.
Can I
fan
just-
of some C-grade crap,
Yeah.
I'm on top of it.
It is Nightbeast is a father and son on a weekend hunting trip in the woods encounter supernatural creatures at night.
I mean,
That's the
Father
only-
of the year, by the way, I have to say.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Ron was telling me a little bit about this film. And it
We
is.
may have to add that to our queue. Like here in the next couple episodes, we may have to work in.
That's what we were talking about too. He's like, if I watch this movie, we should do it. I was like, absolutely.
Well, and the way I see it is, by all means, we're all going to contribute. Like probably one of the movies, every episode or every other episode is going to be a movie that we actually show at a Trash Panda Film Society screening, so that even if someone can't be at a screening, they can hear our thoughts about it. They can watch along. They can go, okay, cool, that was the movie this time. that kind of thing. And then eventually also we're going to probably go back, since we've been doing it for a couple years now, and go through the backlog so that one of the movies every week is one that
we've shown
that we've shown in the past. But the other ones are really all just kind of free-for-alls of what we feel like talking about. One might be related to the other one in some way, but again, we're just kind of making that up as it goes. So, final one. I am Cameron May. So, my job has nothing to do with cinema, but that is surprising, mostly to myself, because I, was definitely that nerd who grew up saying that I was going to be a film director. Went to film school at VCU, decided that I wanted money and stability, and I sold out instantly. Very, very polite golf laugh.
I thought that was applause.
Yeah. Well, it should have been laughter. You chose the right one.
You chose right, Rob.
Yeah. You quit your dream.
In the choose your own adventure of picking the right stuff, you picked the right stuff.
You picked the right stuff. But even though I do not have my job has nothing to do with cinema, it is my obsession. It has been for 30 years. I went to school for it, so if anything, probably the society itself and this podcast was a major byproduct of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not going to get too verbose about this. I'll just say it quickly. We live in a really cool age where, because of streaming, you can watch anything at any time from anywhere, right? Which is very liberating. I'm not going to be the get off my lawn Eastwood style, nah, it was better when it was in 16 millimeter and showed beside porn.
You had to get stabbed by a guy in a trench coat.
That's Iron
Good
Mike.
old days.
He owns the theater. But with all of the benefit that comes with that accessibility, there's a lot of downsides. There's the fact that there is no curation anymore, in the sense of you just kind of hope that the algorithms help you discover a movie that you've never heard of, that you never would have thought to watch, that then you watch and you fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea of kind of curating and starting a conversation on what are movies that don't get talked about enough, what are movies that maybe you think you wouldn't like that you actually end up loving, that kind of shit. And, as people are able to, whether it's by actually joining the Trash Panda Film Society, or whether it's just doing your own screenings with people, there is absolutely something. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched a movie, and I bet you guys have had this scenario maybe, where you probably had the reverse. The reverse is easier to notice, where you watch a movie with a crowd of people, and it fucking burns you up. Like, you love it. You laugh at every joke. You cheer when the bad guy gets stabbed in the ass or whatever. Just it's just it lands in a major way.
Yeah.
And then you're chasing that high, and you watch it on Netflix alone in your apartment,
Not the same.
pants off. And while that was enjoyable for you, it's not the same thing, So I like the idea of building a community of people that watch a movie collectively and then talk about it,
Yeah.
So.
Who was that?
Nice cold beer.
Who was that? Whose phone just went off? Who was that? Who was that? It was me. That was a test. No, I'm just kidding. Also, speaking to Cameron's message of a lack of curation. By the way, a lot of these movies that we are going to be talking about, I'm just going to go ahead and give a shout out to Tubi, because Tubi is an amazing. It's a free streaming site, and of course there are ads, but it's free. You just need to create an account. And so many movies. The two movies that we're discussing tonight, you can watch for free on Tubi.
Both on Tubi.
Yes.
I pay for several services, but half the time it's on Tubi for free, along with shit that is nowhere else.
And to speak to their gravitas, the movie that Ron accidentally watched is also on Tubi. That's how he mistakenly watched it.
Accidentally Tubi'd.
He just accidentally Tubi. He put an S on Nightbeast. and they were like,
Never
boom.
change, Tubi. Never change.
Never.
I guess
It's not Tubi's fun. No, I'm just kidding.
unless we had any other orders of business, I think the final note that we should say before we actually get into the main thing is that, because this is a new podcast, we're trying to get it off the ground, we're trying to turn it into something. We're all pretty much just leveraged to the hilt with credit. None of us are in good financial space.
Destitute, one would say.
You don't want to see my bank account.
Very poor.
It's bad. It's bad.
I had to pull money out of savings to get me and Cameron a drink at the Community Inn just before this.
I couldn't even afford one bullet.
Can't even afford it.
They don't accept layaway, by the way.
No. At the Community Inn, one shot of Bullet Bourbon is $1.50.
Community Inn is the unofficial sponsor of this podcast.
It really is.
And my failing marriage.
Shout out
God
Community
bless.
Inn. Shout out
Because-
Tubi. Shout out Community Inn.
Because of these, and I love you, Jen. Because of this realistic scenario that we are in,
Yes.
we had to open the podcast to a number of sponsors. When I say that, I mean that we, in effect, put bids on the dark web where we said, if you're looking to find an audience that listens to three white men talk about an unlimited obsession online, we will take your money. It is not expensive. You will wire us money, and we will talk about your products. And we'll let you play your ads for our products pretty indiscriminately. So while we are not directly held responsible for the messages of our advertisers, I will say that we give them a hearty thank you.
We do. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Specifically, Globacorp. Right off the bat is one of our sponsors. It's
Keeping
been a
the lights
major
on.
one. Yeah, keep the lights on. So thank you, Globacorp.
So
And but yeah, so you'll be hearing throughout the podcast. We usually have a couple ad breaks. So I just hope you.
as long as it is legal. in the
Well,
state you're in,
well.
you should seriously consider patronizing our sponsors.
Yes, as long as it's legal is such a. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to use that word. As long as you can get away
Talked
with
about
it.
this.
Yeah.
Should we just jump into one of their ads?
We just showed
Which-
the first ad.
which-
Did we just let
yeah.
the first ad play?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Take a
Okay.
minute. We'll be
Very
right
good.
back after this message from our sponsor.
What's the one thing wrong with cats these days that you wish you could fix? Not enough muscles. Introducing Muscle Cats, a genetically modified species of house feline that have several strains of Piedmontese cattle DNA stamped into their genetic makeup. If you're wondering what our cats look like, go ahead and look up a Piedmont bull. See that stocky fucking beefcake? Now imagine all that sweet, sweet ripped muscle inside a 45-pound cat. Muscle cats jump higher, kill mice quicker, and live only up to 25% of the lifespan of a normal shitty cat. Have problems with tiny little ankle biter dogs? Not a problem with muscle cats, since you'll have to get rid of those little wailing rats you call pets because experiments have shown that on average there's a 99% mortality rate when any dog under 30 pounds lives in the same household as a muscle cat. Now, are there problems? Of course. Any new cutting-edge project will have kinks in the road. Is there a problem with muscle cats attacking children under the age of 12? Maybe. But now your children have a chance to grow through adversity that they might not have had before muscle cats. And we're willing to donate up to $5,000 into a Caveman vs. Sabretooth college account fund for any of your children that make it up to 5 weeks with a muscle cat without any severe injuries. Have the muscle cat's claws been called unethically large by the AVMA? Yes. But what do a bunch of old veterinarians know about gene splicing? We asked them. You know what their response was? That's besides the point. Way to dodge a question. Have muscle cats been known to pulverize human tissue into semi-matter when they do that cute little kneading dough thing with those claws? Only in 89% of cases, which is why we now offer Tiger Pants to each family member. Made out of the same stuff that stops 7.62mm NATO rounds from plugging up chests and lungs on our brave boys overseas. Tiger Pants have proven to be almost 67% effective in most muscle cat incidences that include melees, squabbles, tussles, playtime, and rage stalking, which is a new thing that we just learned they do. Muscle Cat, the cat of the future. All right. Thank you. And yep, that was a
Wow.
word from our sponsor.
Okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to look into that.
I'm not sure if all of that is.
I'm sold.
Well-
How about you?
Ron, that's why you went to prison.
Well,
You're very easily swayed.
some people call me an avid businessman.
That.
Real life Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, I've never. I don't know about that.
Yes. You know that was a true story, right?
What?
A real life.
Yeah,
Well, you know
yeah,
that
yeah.
that actually happened.
That
Told
did
me
happen,
about
yes.
the
Yes,
podcast.
yes,
Oh, good.
He doesn't know that.
Wink, wink.
Except it's not science fiction this time.
Jesus.
Good God.
Good. Which movie are we getting into?
I figured we would talk about Night of a I think I was gonna leave it at Night. I figured we'd talk about Night
Talk about
first.
Night.
But
That is
both
what the
of
two
our
movies have in common.
Yes, both of our movies. The Night.
Should we tell the two movies first?
Let's go ahead and tell the two movies first.
All right. So the two movies that we are discussing tonight it is 1982's Nightbeast.
Do not confuse with 2010 Nightbeasts.
This is just Nightbeast. This is
very
singular compared to Ron's plural. And the other one actually has two titles. One title is Blood Feast, but the one that we're going by tonight is 1972's Night of a Thousand Cats. Cameron has done an air pump with his hand, like the
Night
Like-
of a Thousand Cats.
Night of a Thousand Cats. Just the title. The title is fantastic.
Ingmar Bergman made a film called Cries and Whispers. You know, it's pretty good,
Yeah,
but I think right away, this is gonna be better.
this is going to be better than
They're
Ingmar
gonna
Bergman.
Stick the landing, okay? Are you gonna learn if God exists? No. But let me tell you what, you're gonna see a lot of cats.
You're going to see way too many
See some
cats.
serious fucking cats.
Like, a
Way
weird.
more often than you want.
You're going to see.
Man. Yeah, didn't your what?
You're going to see what I'm assuming for the time is
Yeah.
an illegal amount of cats.
Only in Mexico can you have this many cats, in a room.
one room.
Hey,
Before
the
the-
lead handles those cats
They had to-
professionally.
Oh, my God.
Jorge, get over here. These cats are out of hand.
Oh my. You know,
One got out. Get
They-
it back in
get
there.
it back
You
in.
got-
Once
you
you
gotta
get
get
one
them.
out, that's 15. That's like basically having 15 out.
oh man, that one's Mud Pie. He's a fighter. That one's got fires.
We're going to have to call the federales in. This is bad.
My God.
So which one are we doing first?
Let's do that one. Let's go right into Night of a Thousand Cats. Okay,
Nice.
it's 72. Directed by a guy named, and I'm not going to go real full deep into a lot of these things if you're interested about these filmmakers, but it's directed by a guy named Rene Cardona Jr. He was a strange presence in Mexico in the 70s and 80s. He was an independent filmmaker, Mexican filmmaker, but he churned out so many movies. He made like 30 movies.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite. The other two that I've seen that I think are notable is he made a movie called Under Siege. And before you start, not that Under Siege.
not the Steven Seagal one.
Steven Seagal is not it. They couldn't even get Seagal.
Whoa.
No, it's this really cool kind of like home invasion thriller called Under Siege. That's pretty awesome. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. And then he made a movie called Tintorera. That's a shark attack movie, which is right in
That
Watts'
sounds
ballpark.
right up my alley.
Except
I love sharks.
get all the suspense and technical wizardry of Jaws, and imagine if Spielberg had had $5, had a real weed problem, and decided to just rely on stock footage from nature documentaries of sharks.
Oh, I love
And
that.
just to cut his actors and straight up like green screen them on top of the documentary footage to look like
Whoa.
someone's getting. It's a special movie. We may have to do Tintorera.
I think we should.
some
I'm kind of sold on this right now.
It rocks.
You guys are very easily sold on
I
Terrence.
love some
It's
sci-fi
like,
shark movies, I gotta say.
okay, yeah, me too. I really like the good one that happened in '75, and then everything's.
Which one was that?
Oh God.
Is that
Was it-
Piranha?
Was that Cruel Jaws?
Was it Meg?
Was
I
it
think
the
it was-
Meg?
I think
Did
it was
that
Meg.
Did that
Pretty
come
sure
out?
that was the Meg 2.
That was the Meg 2, '75 with that Statham boy.
I really enjoyed it, I gotta say.
So, okay, what did you guys think of. Well, okay, you know what? I think what we should do. We're never gonna do spoilers for these in case somebody wants to watch them, but just very briefly, Night of a Thousand Cats tells the story of a mysterious.
Do you want me to read the one-line
Why don't
plot
you?
synopsis?
Bingo.
Do it.
So here's the one-line plot synopsis from the internet. A wealthy Night of a Thousand Cats. A wealthy playboy kidnaps and murders young women. This is what happens, feeding their corpses to his horde of felines.
And if it sounds like we've given away the entire movie,
We have not.
Well, we sort
Not all of it.
Not all of it. You give away most of it, but the movie also gives away most of it. It's not ashamed of what it is. It gets you where you want to go pretty quickly. Like you see everything that he's just read.
It teaches some really good life lessons, I have to say.
I think so.
Yeah.
First of all, be rich enough to buy a helicopter. Do that.
Yet no one
Also-
cares if you have a helicopter if you just hover around their house daily,
Around their pool.
around their pool at the same
Call
time
them.
each day.
I love how that helicopter acts as like it is Jaws in the air. It's like the
Growling.
in the beginning of the movie. It's like it's very loud. Obviously, and it like annoys a lot. They're like, "Hey, stop that!"
Get your helicopter more than 8 feet away from
But-
my
But
backyard.
halfway through the movie, he's like close to houses, but it's like a prowling shark,
Yeah.
and like no one like
silent.
notices this super loud helicopter in there. And
Except
they're just like
all of the women that are incredibly turned on by this helicopter.
by this helicopter. I mean,
Well,
it's
if
like,
you're good looking enough, you can do whatever the hell you want.
yeah,
This
but-
Life
man-
lesson number 1.
By the way, let's take a minute to talk about the way Cameron, the main antagonist of this movie, the wealthy playboy. Cameron described him to me as the worst, most interesting man in the world.
Yeah. So the Dos Equis commercials, I'm sure you've seen. I like to think that this is his backstory. This man has the best wardrobe, arguably in all of cinema. Every time you see him, he's got on like a different ascot,
Yeah.
or a different bandana around his neck,
True.
and smoking jacket, and like big, just like 1980s downtown New York lesbian sunglasses.
Huge.
Take up most of his face.
And he rotates through a collection of nice smoking pipes.
He does.
Dude,
various
massive
sizes.
pipes.
He
What's his
also-
character name?
It's the same as his. So let's.
Same as his actual.
It-
That's
it
right.
is
The
Hugo.
character is Hugo.
So let's talk. So if anyone is a movie buff here or a fan of Quentin Tarantino, you'll know that in the movie *Inglourious Bastards*, the Nazi killer who is a former Nazi soldier, his name in the movie, his character is Hugo Stiglitz. The actor who plays the main antagonist in *Night of a Thousand Cats*, his real life actor name
Actual
is
name.
Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah, he was a big actor in like Spain
Yeah.
and Europe. Did a lot of Italian movies and stuff. Hugo Stiglitz. So, and Tarantino is a massive fan of all these types of movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where that came from.
And then the poor bastard couldn't even be bothered enough to be like, wait, we're gonna name you whatever. He's like, you call me Hugo.
Yeah, I
That'll
love
be
it
my
in the
character
movie.
name.
They were just like, who's Hugo playing? And they're like, good enough. Yeah.
Also, he has, I don't know, I don't think it's dubbed. I think that's his actual voice. He has the voice of like someone who's doing an English anime dub, present day.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
It's just, I would like to see you in a crystal plumage. Like what in the
Yeah.
shit?
What did he say? Like, I'm going to lock you in a crystal ball. What did the fuck
Yeah,
did he
yeah.
say?
At the
There's a
beginning,
line.
he's
Yeah.
like, "You will be part of my collection." It's like, what are you doing?
They're like, I love helicopters.
Yeah,
Get
I
in
love
here.
I love being naked
Let me
with you and
leave
on
my
this
child
boat.
at home and go to your private island
Let me
castle.
cheat on my husband.
What's up with all these locked doors and gates?
My God.
Oh,
Jeez.
this is cool.
I
and
love your
intriguing.
big sumo wrestler lab assistant.
I love. Oh God.
This is great.
I love. Dorgu.
Dorgo.
Was it Dorgu or
No,
Dorgo?
no, no. It's Drago.
Igor?
It's Drago.
No, I don't. I think it's. I just
Igor.
watched it
Igor.
today.
Dorgo?
Pretty sure it was Igor.
It's like Dorgu or Dorgo, because it's very off-putting of a name.
Okay.
Dorgo
maybe
It's definitely
shut.
not
Maybe
Russian.
it's Dorgo. I bet I normalized it.
The
to
door,
like
I think-
the
yeah.
door goes shut. That's what happens.
Dorgo. I want to.
Dorgo locked the door.
I want to say because on like the
Dorgo, not.
Hodor. Hodor. Dorgo.
No, no. But yeah, no. He looks so. Dorgo. Basically looks like a Polynesian monk with type 2 diabetes.
whiz at chess. Really.
A wizard show. Oh my god.
My God.
Wait,
The
yeah,
amount-
how are we just riffing now? Or are we just
Yeah,
going-
we're just
okay.
we're just talking about the movies.
Oh
That's
my
how this will
god.
go.
Well, go ahead.
No. Well, okay. So the amount of screen time. This is a short movie. This movie's like an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yes, it's very,
Very,
short.
very short.
Very easy for you
The
to
amount
crunch
of
in.
screen time that is taken up by 3 different scenes. One is them playing chess for entirely too long. The other is this motherfucker flying this helicopter through people's backyards.
Yes.
Way too much of the screen time. And then the scenes where he has, like, tourist kibble that he is throwing into
Yes.
the pit of cats.
Yes.
While this cacophony of just cat orgy sounds plays. Or like, yeah, oh my god, you'll blow out your
What is it?
speakers if you're not careful.
Oh god.
Yeah, imagine you finding a koi pond, and you put your 25 cents in, and you get all the fish feed that you can throw out. That's how this man was throwing out the meat for
Yeah.
these cats.
Meat of Barbara. Yeah. Just feeding. Oh.
Can I also say there is a scene where it's after one of the women gets slain. He's feeding. He literally has like a wheelbarrow full of like meat, and he's throwing it into this room that is an abyss, just full of cats, and too many cats, by the way.
Okay, so let's just very, very quickly.
Go
Is it
ahead.
1,000
I'll remember.
cats?
Say
Is
what?
it 1,000?
I don't think it's
It's
1,000.
not 1,000.
There's no
It's-
way that's 1,000.
I think I was thinking about this earlier today because I was just like looking at it, kind of trying to do the idiot math in my mind, and I was like, it's like first of all, there's no way it's 1,000 cats. That's a ridiculous number.
I gotta
but
look at my cat ratio.
I need to look at 5 cats together and go from
I
there.
gotta check my cat map.
I'm willing to say, judging by the room full of cats, I'm willing to say it's at least 100, no more than 250. I'd say somewhere in that
Okay.
range.
I feel like it's fair.
I was gonna say
Where was
between
the
2
shot?
and 300
Where's
cats
the shot?
in Mexico. All of
Acapulco,
Rene Cardone's-
I believe, right? Acapulco? Acapulco?
Is it in Acapulco? Okay. Yeah.
That's what they
No,
say.
That tracks. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think pretty much all of.
But it's still
Jr.'s
like in
films.
like southern.
It's like Under Siege.
Latin
is like
America.
Under Siege is in like a nice suburban community.
yeah.
And then the shark attack one's probably like 5 feet from the coastline.
Yeah.
That explains
I
why
think
everyone
maybe-
down there is so comfortable with these like low-grade helicopters just hovering.
Yeah.
They don't have any laws. Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, Tuesday.
It'll be fine.
It'll be good. They say Acapulco, but I think that might just be where the old abandoned mine. By the way, so the whole point is of the
That's
story.
right.
He goes around in his helicopter and motorcycle and boats and cars, picking up women as this illustrious playboy, and eventually lures them back to this old ass monastery. Like
Massive.
That
it's
he
huge.
inherited.
Yeah, that he inherited and gave away.
Multi-generational.
Yep, but he donated all the stuff
As
on the
monks
walls.
are wont to do.
As monks are wont to
right?
do.
Since they can sleep around.
Yeah, but he just like, it's such a weird like. I come back to my mansion. It's like your mansion is just a historical site. There's no like.
yeah.
There's no couches.
Isn't this just the Alamo? Like, yeah.
Isn't this just the Alamo with less people?
Ugh.
Oh my god! But to go back to my point, first of all, yeah, definitely anywhere from 100 to 250 cats. Again, wait, an illegal amount of cats, I will say. Like you can't. There's no way possible you can have that many cats together at one time.
Those cats were pretty well groomed. I just want to point that
They were
out.
well
They
taken
were
care of.
not mangy.
He's
Some
got
of
an impressive
them-
collection. Those are taken care of cats.
Yes.
Other nice things he had. So he has an incredible collection of cats. He has a wildly impressive, a deeply sexual helicopter.
It's true.
He has,
It's true.
He has a
It's
very
just-
impressive head collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
His taxidermy skills are hardcore.
His hair is
I
pretty
think-
nice.
I think he got that from his grandfather, right? That's what he said.
I believe, yeah, he
Taxidermy,
inherited that as well. I think the most impressive thing the man had in his collection are the largest brandy snifters
They're huge.
in human history.
About the size of a young woman's head.
There's a great brandy drinking scene that reminds me of those Sky vodka commercials.
I was
with Tim and
wondering
Eric.
about those.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
it's like, come on,
fucking
man.
silly.
Yes.
And it's a very suspenseful scene. and he's pouring into these fucking just baby pools that they're drinking out of and swishing the brandy around.
Yeah.
And heating up, by the way.
And heating up.
Over candlelight.
Oh, he does it right. He's the
Yeah.
most interesting man in the world.
He is. It's classic.
How else did he start those things?
No one knows.
Oh, it's a great movie. You know, whenever we talk about these movies, one of the things that especially if it's this type of movie, you hear the phrase often for a movie like this of, it's so bad it's good. That's a common, we've all heard that, right? That's not just me.
Yes.
Yes.
Like Pornhub. Okay, cool, good.
Ghost Shark.
It's vernacular.
Yes.
Avalanche shock.
So, you know, that phrase, I think that there are absolutely times where that defines the movie, where you are watching the movie and it is so incompetently made that you're laughing at it. And that's what gives you the enjoyment. But I think the term is overused, because I think there are lots of movies that are actually not so bad it's good. It's fucking good. It's good the same way that McDonald's is good, as long as you basically want ass cancer fed to you.
So you're saying it's good, like the script is there.
There's not
Everything is there.
incompetence. It's just super lowbrow.
It's just lowbrow, and also the budget might not. The
Budget
budget's not
can-
there, and it's very lowbrow.
You could get a helicopter. But
Absolutely.
That was about it.
Or like, just because it's not a sophisticated film, people go, "Oh, it's so bad it's good." Sometimes, nah, man, it's really good for what it's trying to be. Right?
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, that was the question I was going to open up to everybody about this. Is this movie so bad it's good, or is this movie legit good in its own unique way?
Man,
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Can I jump in with a little bit of feedback from the experience of watching? Yes, because my wife walked
Twice.
in. Yeah, twice.
Once it was even the right movie.
Oh, that's the next one. My wife came into the scene towards the end, and we talked about the cacophony of cats. And I think
Cat
that
quiet.
it's so bad that it is good. I will say that because the usage of the sound clips of the cats over top of just the tones with the music in the background was enough to drive my wife out of the room, and she was like, I literally can't. Something's going to happen. I'm going to break something. This is the most disturbing scene that I've ever seen. Yeah, so I think they did a really good job.
So this is actually like a legitimately well-made attempt at whatever.
I think, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I think it was just low budget, and they did what they could. And I know it's like just kind of a nowadays thing, but the old film flicker that kept happening, I think played in, like, I'm glad that it was still on there with Tubi, because it really played into the fact of the really abrupt scene changes and how it clicked around constantly.
It
And
doesn't
it's-
waste your time with scene transitions
No.
or character
No,
development.
and it leads you into
Yeah.
being uncomfortable because crap's about to go down.
Yeah.
Like, they know the
Yeah.
shit's going to hit the fan, and you're just ready for it.
Yeah. I would say the same thing too, just from a coming from the point of like script and also just like acts, like because a lot of because this one at least like it had a clear like the guy had a motivation, it has a clear like structure of like what's going on, and we go from these series of events with these women that finally
Yeah, we get to see the
culminates.
cycle a couple of
Yes.
times.
It finally culminates in the climax and the ending. Whereas, and I've seen some like dog shit movies that were literally so bad that's good because like halfway through the plot would just deviate.
They don't know what the story is.
Characters would make decisions that didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Characters in here were all pretty made choices that would make sense for what they were doing. So in that sense, yes, I do think it's just like a very low budget. Like we have $15.
We are in Mexico.
We are in Mexico.
Not by choice.
I
We were
found
born
this.
here.
I found this monastery that's only accessible by helicopter, and we're 2 days in front of the
But
federal.
Hugo Stiglitz knows how to fly.
Hugo Stiglitz can fly
This
barely
is a
when
sign from God. We have to shoot this film.
when you
No.
get Hugo a little liquored up. He's a great pilot.
Oh my God. No, I
Hovering
completely
to tap
I
the top of
completely
water,
agree.
yes. Amazing pilot.
Yeah. What were you saying?
No, I was saying I completely agree. I do think it's actually like a great movie, and it's for what it's trying to be. it does a nice job of exactly what you're saying, of giving you a few patterns of his behavior to build up the suspense. And it does a cool thing. I won't give any details, but it does a really cool thing. I dug.
Is this the ending?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where it goes back in time and shows you another cycle of it happening that explains. Yeah, it's actually like pretty. Because you're right. Same thing. I've seen a lot of shitty movies, and I've seen some just dog shit where like they would think to be like, okay, let me show you a time before this when it happened where something went wrong and it set up some friction between characters that everything's going to come to a head right now.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
I also, for the last shot of the film, I think is actually pretty. You know what I'm talking about? As the camera pans over and you see,
solid.
we're not going to tell you what it shows, but artistically, it's a pretty. You gotta look at it and you'll either be like, oh, good for them, or you'll be like, oh, this is horse shit.
God damn it.
Fuck you.
I
Night
could
of
have been
1,000
doing
cats.
drugs.
I feel like leading up to it, though, you're just like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and then it's just like, it's almost that climactic ending of just like, oh, thank fuck.
Yeah. Also,
You got me there. Yeah.
Can I also point out that someone on the production team was at least one or two people were responsible for throwing either fake or live cats at other people.
Oh man.
That was their job.
That, like big medieval event.
Yeah. Someone's job was to throw cats at people.
No cats were harmed in the film.
Well, we don't know that, Ron. We can't make that statement.
Don't
say that.
Oh
Ron.
no, don't
legally,
say that.
Legally, we can't.
One
say that.
was no, I can't say that either. That's part of the plot.
It was
I think.
Yeah. Don't do that.
One was very thirsty, and Hugo helped them.
It fell into his giant-ass brandy snifter. They dragged it, and they couldn't find the body.
I do just want to point out, I love in the flashback that you're referencing, by the way, the just that kind of stereotypical, the bad guy's very slow, but they just can't escape.
Yeah.
And they trip.
Yeah.
And
I love slow-mo. I'm a big fan. I'm a big proponent of slow-mo chase scenes because why should the chase feel fast? That's what most Bond films and big films get wrong. Is they try to communicate the speed. When actually you should get people running and slow it down so that it looks like they're doing a light jog.
Yeah.
That's what the people really want. But also you should just put like a experimental acid jazz soundtrack.
Oh God.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
So good.
Well.
All right.
No, I was just gonna say. So that was that is our take on Night of 1,000 Cats. Please go to Tubi and watch it, or if you can find it, buy it. I'm sure it's $8.
There is a Code Red Blu-ray that is out of print, but it's still not super expensive. It's actually a double with Mary Bloody Mary and Night of 1,000 Cats. It's like $25.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also free on Tubi. Yep. So that is our first movie. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break for and we're gonna get here's another sponsor. What's the one thing that's wrong with food today? It can taste delicious, but you're not an exorbitantly shallow person who wants for the classy luxuries of life. Who needs all that prepping, cooking, and cleaning associated with eating? How much time does all that stuff take out of our lives? Way too much for sure. Don't you wish there was an easy, simple way of getting nutrients that could sustain you for weeks at a time, while at the same time burning energy so as not to gain weight? Introducing Gummy Cats, a 20-pound gummy product that's the same shape as a fat, hilariously anime cute cat. With just a few delicious bites of a gummy cat, you'll have enough energy for days. But I know what you're thinking. Won't all those calories and carbs that the gummy cat is rich in just go right to my fat little thighs? Not at all. You see, the gummy cat was genetically engineered to be fully sentient. It can walk and move like a normal cat until you come within 2 feet of it, which is when it becomes fully aware that you're actively trying to eat it.
Oh God, no! Please, no! You can't! I'm alive! I have a soul! I don't want to die, please!
That's right. The gummy cat can speak English and even Spanish.
No, por favor! No, yo quiero morir! ¡Oh, Dios mío, por favor, detente!
Not only is it an ultra easy way to consume calories, but the hostile chase that gives way will help burn off those calories as you hunt for your prey like a modern day Daniel Boone.
No! Why are you doing this? Why am I here? Who created me? Why is this my existence? This is hell! Do you understand the concept of hell?
Classic gummy cats. Not only does a physical hunt give you a good workout, but our studies here at Globocorp have shown that mental and psychological fatigue, say the kind of stress you get from hunting and killing prey that can talk and reason back at you, is just as good as a source at losing weight as exercise.
Please, why are you eating me? I thought you were my friend. You're supposed to care for me, love me. We are one, protectors and brothers. There's no meaning in this callous life. Oh, God, what is God? Who did this to me?
The psychological stress will not only give you pause at what kind of man you've become, but will also test your mental fortitude, since we've spliced in memories from genocide survivors into the brain mass center of all gummy cats.
Please, God, no! I have a family! I have children! Young Michael, he'll be 8 this winter! You can't! Who gave you the power to be God? Who told you you were the decider?
Goddamn, that is some classic fun gummy cat stuff right there. Now, according to a UN court that subjected Globocorp to in-house audit activities, is giving a sentient gummy animal the memories of genocide victims immoral and criminally negligible? I don't know. We asked them what they even know about splicing human memories into something that some cultures would call an abomination of science, and they responded with, "That's besides the point of why we're here." Wow, way to dodge a question. As you hunt the gummy cat, consuming bites of it at a time before it bites you off, or you let go of it out of shock wondering what kind of person you could become to indulge in such a macabre experience, you can either return your gummy cat free of charge, or you can evolve into something more than man, something more than you were before. With more bites and more energy, you'll realize that the gummy cat doesn't have a family, just the implanted memories of survivors of violent massacres. And at that point you'll think, what are memories anyways? But a bubble of fading figments, lost in an ever-expanding void that is your deteriorating human mind. You don't have time for all that shit, and thus another hunt for more fuel.
Oh, God, what is this? A trap? Why are you building traps? Please, I'm alive. I'm aware of my own fragile existence. Please don't do this. Don't become the monster they want you to be.
As you evolve to become the next generation of Superman, you'll quickly learn that patterns and tricks of the gummy cat work out traps to its demise as you eat of its delicious gummy flesh. Its loud lies and deceits will be but a droning background noise as you devour your prey with victory in your cold, dead eyes, displaying parts of it in your own ceremonial Uberman cave, a quiet, cold cave lit by one fire with ritualistic paintings and relics that you've made to serve your new gods along your journey of self-realization. The starter kit for the cave only costs $9.95.
Oh, God! Darkness! The light is fading! I warned you! I still have things unfinished! Tell my boys I won't be home by spring! Tell the time goes not for the rose, only that it withers!
God damn, that's hilarious. Gummy cats. Order now from the Globocorp website. And welcome back to the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed that ad from our sponsor.
That'd make one of us.
Well, you know they pay the bills, Cameron. So.
Yeah,
that was a
what was
perfect
that?
follow-up to
Yeah.
Night of 1,000 Cats, I have
true.
to say.
Yes.
Okay.
Completely on brand, if you really think about it. They
So
knew who
was
they were
Auschwitz.
sponsoring.
You can't say that.
Thank you, Globocorp. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you,
We hope
Globocorp.
everyone
Thank
goes
you.
out.
Keep us in business.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Trash Panda Film Society podcast. Here we are.
Okay.
All right. So, second movie.
Yeah, here we are. We are going to close out the show with our second film. Normally, like I say, it'll be a 3-film thing, but we wanted to get to know you a little bit for the first slot.
Put a warm breath next to your ear, if you will.
Wanted to smell your hair a little bit, maybe play with it.
Maybe tuss it around a little.
Whisper some sweet nothings.
Like an uncle at a Christmas function.
Last time you ever been gently kissed on the cheek in a bar?
This is what it feels like to drive a Ford F-150.
My God.
Terrifying.
I want to run my fingers through your Jerry curl. I want to know your musk.
Oh, God.
Revs your engine.
Okay.
Have you ever read The Fountainhead?
Oh,
Okay.
Does Anne Rand excite you below the belt? Me neither. She's a crusty old hat. No,
All right, Nightbeasts.
Nightbeast and Ron to the rescue.
By the way, me and Cameron will just keep doing that. We'll go on for hours.
A 3-hour podcast
of
us doing like pervy Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, we'll do that.
This is why they got me on parole. This is why I'm here.
Yeah. make sure that doesn't happen to the American public.
When I Ronald McDonald, that homeless boy, this is what actually happened.
My God.
I covered for those fuckers.
He had to get 72 stitches. He's still in a coma.
You know what they call it? The police station now. They say I run John.
God rest his soul.
I hate it.
Oh, God. So,
okay.
1982, Nightbeast.
Nightbeast. So,
not to be confused with Nightbeasts.
Not to be confused with 2010's Nightbeast.
Yes, that's right. There is an expanded universe.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure it's actually just 2 low-hanging fruit titles. This is 82, Nightbeast singular, directed.
Go ahead. Are you going to give the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Directed by Don Dohler. So this guy, Don Dohler, was a independent filmmaker of, like, the best sort. I love stories like this of guys who... He made 10 other films, 11 in total. Pretty much all of them. He's a Massachusetts... He's a Baltimore native. He made all of his films in Baltimore. Lived and died in Baltimore. His films have a real just duct tape DIY quality to them. He started his first movie when you go to IMDb. I think it's called Alien Encounter. He made when he was 12 years old.
Whoa.
12.
My God.
So this motherfucker...
I was going to bring up Alien Encounter because I have to say... I was watching this very late when I was reviewing this movie, so I fell asleep and I woke up and I was like, how the fuck is that guy still alive?
Oh my God. Well, okay, yeah, so he made his first movie at 12. He was making stuff on like 8mm, 16mm, including this Nightbeast. He had a big gap in his career where he kind of gave up and had kids and probably had to like go make real money and whatnot. But he actually made a sequel to Alien Encounter in like 2007.
Ooh.
Don't hold me to that. But just the fact that he came back and made a couple more movies before his actually fairly early death, sadly, is pretty fucking cool. He also started a film magazine where he was just like, reviewing movies. It was a fanzine. So I admire his spirit a lot. And so, when we talk about the title Nightbeast and being pretty generic, I think that title especially, for a movie called Nightbeast, I think the first 10 minutes takes place at night.
Yeah, the rest basically takes place. And the
it has
ending...
a surprising amount of time in the day.
Yeah.
For being called Nightbeast.
For having night in the name.
Yeah. And the ending, probably like the last 10 minutes...
That's right.
Take place at night.
Yeah.
The rest of the film takes place during the goddamn day, which begs a question, why the fuck is he called Nightbeast?
No one quite knows.
No one knows.
It's like one 24-hour period, right?
I don't feel like we necessarily need to give a big plot synopsis here because there's not a lot to give.
I can do that. This is how Cameron first described it to me. He said, imagine if Predator was made in 1982, took place in the South, and was made on a budget of $7.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
fuck, because that was my summary. I was like, so this is where Predator came from.
Yep. And keep in mind, this is 5 years before Predator.
Yeah, John
guys,
McTiernan
so-
fucking ripped this off.
I
To an
mean,
extent, maybe.
I don't want to give it credit that it
I'm totally
doesn't
kidding, by the
deserve,
way. No.
But, but, I mean,
Technology, the advancement, all that jazz with
there
the
are
cinematics.
striking similarities.
There are.
He just said, "What if we got this?" And
The fucked up mouth on the alien. Like,
did
Dude,
it well.
I will say, there is one sequence in the film, in the first 10 minutes, where the Nightbeast is quick tangent on that. I was telling our friend at A Few Old Goats by the name of Larry, I was just telling him about this
Larry.
movie and that it takes place in the
Hey.
South, and I looked it up for him and the Nightbeast, and he goes, "Wow, that's racist as shit." Just looking at the thing, I was like, "That is inconsequential. That takes place in the South, but yes, it does."
Although the whole thing was filmed in in Boston.
In Boston. That's
So-
hilarious. But there is a sequence when the Nightbeast, the alien, is chasing these two children around, and it's a close-up on the thing's face, and just when you see the face and the teeth on it, it is actually terrifying. I found that sequence a little scary just because
I like the Nightbeast itself.
I don't care for I liked the shots where it's like a silhouette of him. I really enjoyed the face.
I'd
the
like it more if
silver-
it were at fucking night.
I would enjoy
Like,
that.
It needs some shadow
Just
to
one
cover
night,
up.
yeah.
Also needs a better costume. Something probably black. Something like H.R. Geiger, or who's the guy who did the alien stuff?
H.R. Geiger. Yeah.
Something H.R. Geiger inspired with like a black suit with like resin on it or something. That white cellophane silvery
I was
bullshit.
gonna say you didn't like the silver. You
No,
didn't-
dude, it
you
was
wanted a
dumb.
little
No,
bit.
it's
It
that's
was
terrible.
very,
That's terrible.
very
That's always-
1950s spaceman.
It's very, or like the Brando's cameo in Superman, where he's in that
yes.
like, reflective
Way-
fucking suntan
Is that why
suit.
Predator went with netting? Is that
Yeah,
why?
something.
So like, especially more horror than Predator, because all of Predator takes place at daytime. But
Not
you know,
all of it.
That's all it.
There's like one or two near the end.
Scene?
The
Oh,
end.
at the very end. The very end is
Yeah,
night. You're
but
correct,
yes, you
you're
are correct. Most
But,
of it takes place during the day.
Not to
You
go
know,
on a tangent.
that's a thing that's always tough. I will say is that, horror attracts first-time filmmakers because in many ways you can do it low budget. You can do it cheaply, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, there is nothing more expensive than trying to shoot exteriors at night. Like the amount of light required for a camera to basically fucking function is stupid expensive. So that's the reason why most of it doesn't take place at night. And yeah, let's talk about H.R. Geiger. That's what the first two Alien movies get right. That everything else after it gets wrong is they show the alien too much. They're able to bathe it in shadow.
You're talking about
They're
the
able to.
after two, they showed too much.
Yeah. They show it
Correct.
way too much
Yes.
after that. They should let it largely be unseen. This movie decides to ignore that and give it like one of those like sauna suits. That like
It's a little much.
parents wore in the 80s.
He looked like he was having a fun time. I'll just say that.
He's got that kind of smile on his face,
Yeah.
especially when he's just nuking the whole department at that shootout, that first shootout.
Dude, when he
We
kills-
need that blaster. Like in today's age,
Yeah.
I mean, God, just unending ammo, just
Oh.
constantly blasting.
Yeah,
with, to
dude.
varying effects, I must say.
Are you talking about the humans or the alien?
The alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing that I did not like about the movie is the callous. You can tell is made by someone from a Yankee. Just like the callous sense of the lack of marksmanship they think is in the South.
Yeah.
It's just like they shoot at that thing 800 fucking times. They hit
had
it once.
One sharpshooter.
They had
That was
one.
it.
They had
In
one.
the entirety
Oh
of the
my
South,
God.
They had one
sharpshooter.
guy who shot the gun out of the hand.
Get Joe Tom. Get him over
Get
here.
Joe
Yeah.
Tom over here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the skilled dude. They
Yeah.
killed his kid.
No,
You
that's
bring your son Billy. He's all right.
Yeah.
He's
Billy!
good people. Yeah.
That's the one
Stay
thing.
in cover, Billy.
That's the one thing that I didn't like. The
No, and I
portrayal of
agree.
like, it's like you don't think these motherfuckers are out every day just shoot for this scenario, planning on it. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be an FBI agent or a Nightbeast, but I'm fucking prepared.
I've been waiting for this moment.
See, I was taking it more of the fact that the bullets literally they were hitting their mark but had no effect. Although they did not.
That's the same way I took it, but they didn't have the money or the wherewithal to show that.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't see like the shrapnel
you couldn't
or
get,
the bullets
like,
reflecting.
Bullets deflecting off.
There's some scenes where like the
flashes.
Nightbeast is hiding behind cover too, though. So at least he has like he's like hiding behind.
They
a
didn't
tree.
think this through.
But I agree with you guys as
shockingly,
well. There was probably
I'm
if they
sure
had
it's
a
also
budget.
overpowered.
They did spend
Yeah.
a lot of budget on pyrotechnics. I will say that, by the way.
Dude, that
The
opening
blaster-
fire.
the ship crash
Yeah.
is fucking impressive.
That-
A lot of
movie,
phosphorus went into that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will say
It's a
too.
third of the budget.
It's just phosphorus.
Just phosphorus.
I do love the fact that they got with such a low budget that they got atmosphere right. Like when it comes through and then you can see the ship heating up and then unheating when it comes. I was like, that's for such a kind of low budget that you have. That's a pretty
They did
decent
put it in a
effect to
toaster
have.
oven, yes. The heat lamp underneath glowed red.
They dressed up the alien craft as they got a hot pocket.
I got a hot pocket and
It was a nice miniature they used for the crash too. I like that. That was
I
actually
like
pretty
the
solid.
colors, which
yeah,
actually
good
I'm going to tell a
detail.
little bit more about later. There's a
Yeah.
plot twist coming to this podcast.
Da-na-na-na.
It's hopefully going to be
wait,
a nice.
say,
drop
hold
of
on, do
knowledge.
the da-na-na-na or whatever. Don't we have that?
Jesus.
Have that? Do it.
Wait. Say it again though.
Okay,
Kevin. Say
well,
there's a
I-
plot twist coming. Say it.
There's a
Gonna miss this one.
There's a plot twist coming.
Oh, fucking nailed it, Rondo.
I'm hard as a rock.
I am. You just hear it under the desk, just. Oh,
I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but that was the sound of Andrew's erect penis hitting the cheap wood board of the table beneath us.
We really need to label these. Like, God damn. Just shooting in the dark
You're
on
gonna
a
get
board
some
of
very
like 9
specific
buttons.
sounds.
if
for
you
the
can't
soundboard for
if
the
you
show.
can't tell that we just came together on a random fucking Saturday to do this,
well,
this is your clue.
we've bamboozled you.
I think we did.
motherfucker.
I think we did all of like 2 hours of planning before we actually did this podcast.
That's a very generous.
That's a
amount of
very
time.
generous 2 hours.
So there is a lot of things, and I agree. There's so many things that don't work. Overexposure, overshowing the creature, things like that. The things that I like. Should we talk about the things that we liked first, and then
Yeah.
the things that we disliked, or should we start with the negative, then end with positive?
Start with the negative.
Negative.
Start with negative. Start negative
Yeah,
first,
start
and then
negative.
and then
Start negative.
okay.
Holy
So-
shit. All right.
What?
So negatives. I think we've talked a little bit. Yeah, we show the
That was a line
creature
from the movie.
way too much. I will
That was the
say
opening
that
line from the movie.
Shut up, Rob.
with a movie like this, you're gonna have a lot of actors that aren't actors, and for the most part, I will say this: for the most part, the actors do an admirable job.
Yeah.
I love the mayor in this movie. The mayor who's trying to
Oh, the
have the
mayor,
like back
yeah.
deck party is fucking great.
Nailed it. Yes.
I will say, unfortunately, the main character,
Cinder.
the sheriff,
Yeah, his
uh,
name Tom Griffith.
Tom Griffith, yeah,
Playing Sheriff Cinder. Boy, he has the acting chops for about 18 minutes of this film, and the rest he does not.
I feel like he mostly to prep studied footage of a water chestnut.
Well, it took so long for you to get to your main character in this one because there's just
Yeah.
so many people that are just
It
getting
has an
Get
ensemble.
murked by this
absolutely-
Nightbeast.
Yeah, Nightbeast.
And
was
actually,
just taking
that's
them out.
something I
Killed a
liked
lot of
about it.
people.
I
That's
liked the
fair.
fact that it had the fact that we involved all these different people.
Yeah.
It's not just the sheriff and his team. You know, I do. I for obvious reasons,
Just kept calling it the
always
posse.
compare this movie to. Always compare this.
What did you
movie-
say?
They called up the posse.
We're going to call up.
Call over to Billy Bob. Tell him to get his boys.
We're gonna need some boys and a sniper. One of them boys got to be a sniper boy.
And one of them, and he has to have a son who may die tragically.
I want you to get somebody with some diabetes and at least one good arm.
By the way, did we ever go over the plot of Nightbeast?
I mean, I think you in effect said it with Predator.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
that's
South.
right, that's right.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
we've
yeah,
covered it up to this point.
good point. I think you also read the IMDb, but basically this alien crash lands
Middle of the South.
in the
and
middle
just
of the
said
South.
everyone can catch these hands. I don't know you,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna get it
I don't know
done.
what you're about, but this is me.
But I'm about that life.
I'm
Welcome to
about
the
that
streets.
laser life.
So about the main guy, Tom Griffith. He doesn't even have a photo on the internet.
This was his only movie.
His IMDb was Tom Griffith was born Thomas Bolin Griffith in Baltimore, Maryland in 1945, which explains why he was in this movie, because
He probably was like a next door neighbor.
Yeah. Griff became a graphic artist and sometimes local voice-over talent. That is the kind of talent he had for voiceover. Live-action movies,
Oh man,
not the best.
I feel like I wanted him to tell me something about like lifetime warranties while he was talking. I will say
Was that
this
during
about
the sex scene that you wanted to hear those lifetime warranties?
I'm glad you bring this up.
I'm glad Cameron is so happy that you brought up the sex scene. He's been waiting to talk about it for
I
like
think
2
the
weeks.
greatest special effect in this movie is the sexual lust communicated in this very bizarre forward shot sex scene. I think it's my favorite sex scene in film. I don't know. I mean, the movie Quills has a strong argument.
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
For me, it's the whitey tighties that put it over the top.
So I forgot about
the white
can't-
patties, the Jew-fro, just like, yeah.
I can't believe I took off a fucking Saturday for this. It's goddamn ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, you.
By the way, I know why you thought Dorgu's name was what it was, and that because in Nightbeast there's a man named Drago.
We were thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Drago. So that was a thing I dug about the movie. So here's the one and only area that this movie outdoes Predator. Predator has one threat, the initial threat, which is there's a cartel group right in South America that we have to go wipe out and rescue this other team that disappeared.
Yeah.
And they show up, they kill what guys are there, and then very quickly the movie pivots to, oh wait, it's us versus this superior armed creature, right? This movie does not feel the need to delineate between like when stuff is happening. So you get two things happening at once. I think it's superior. It's the only thing that's superior. Is that you have this alien going berserk through not Massachusetts, wherever the fuck
Arkansas,
we are in the
wherever
South.
the fuck it is.
But you also have this manhunt that ensues for what I've decided to call Bizarro Fonzie.
Oh, it's just a biker guy.
The biker guy, Bizarro Fonzie.
Who him and the best friend have a fight.
Dude, he's the worst person in the world. Like, he kills, like, the scene where he kills...
The girlfriend of the best friend.
Mhm.
Yes,
is hard to
yes.
watch. It gets in... I remember being like, whoa, this suddenly went from jokey B-movie to like, oh my god, I'm watching this like, fucking...
Strangle this one. Doesn't he strangle her? Yeah.
Strangles
he
her.
does.
A lot of
Clearly
strangling
there's-
in these movies.
Oh.
Surprisingly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actor who played this part, the character's name is Drago,
Yeah.
is a guy named
Donald-
Don Liefert.
Yes.
Don Leffert, however you say it.
Don Liefert.
And I love his performance. He's so like, just you fucking hate him.
Yeah.
And I love that we have that going on while all the Nightbeast shit is happening.
Not-
I think that's kind of cool.
Not only
The B
do-
plot. Yeah.
Yeah, not only do we have that, we have another plot with that, which is essentially the Jaws plot, which is Brody telling the mayor, we need to shut down this beach because of this shark. And the Sheriff Cinder being like, we need to
Going
evacuate
to the
town.
mayor's like
I'm
weird
schmoozing the
party
governor.
in
What do
his
you mean?
backyard, very tiny pool.
Yeah, very tiny pool. But he's like, yeah, like Ron said, I'm schmoozing the governor, so no, you can't ruin this for me. This is going to bring in a lot of money to, I don't know,
tourism dollars.
Oklahoma,
It's a big head about it. You know?
Mississippi, I guess. Oklahoma's not
Wherever the
South.
fuck they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I
He's
like
pounding
a
whiskey
lot
the
that
entire time.
Bizarro Fonzie.
Yeah, just drinking the entire time.
The entirety of it. He's like, oh, it's 10 a.m.
To the point
Where's
where-
my whiskey?
Where him and his
Governor's
girlfriend,
coming.
where him and his girlfriend just boozed, passed out on the couch.
Dude,
I think someone there dies because of it.
the portrayal of the governor and all of that, I am convinced, and I don't have evidence for it, but I don't have evidence against it. I think Trailer Park Boys was directly inspired this movie, and the two of them fucks. He reminds me of the dude who owns the trailer.
Hot takes from
Hot
Cameron
takes.
May. Which one is goggles?
The
or what?
hard-hitting news you need. The answers you
Next
can't
up.
get and probably aren't right.
Next up, how many of us have had sex with Gary Oldman? This night, on this night, tonight, this night.
On tonight, this night, last night. Why?
I think I'm having a stroke. Someone help. But yeah, the fight between the best friend and Drago
Is badass. Is intense. I found myself sitting on the couch just like each time I've watched it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times now, just like duking it out.
I personally like when the color change comes in about 4 minutes into it. Because it's like they took obviously a break and it is day change. Like
it was then a different season.
it was then fall, and they were like, "Well, cool.
I guess keep rolling.
Yeah,
Shave off your beard."
I like the resolution of it all. I don't want to say how it ends because I feel like that's kind of
the movie or the
spoiler.
fight.
No, with that.
No,
with
of that
character.
the way that.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
That resolution,
dude. Golden.
Chef's kiss.
Golden. Yeah.
That and the basement water thing are both golden.
Yes.
Oh, how they find out? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Although with
halfway.
With that, I was just like, how are they all dying if it's this kind of unobservant?
Yeah.
If it's this fucking retarded. Because
Thank you for putting it into words so eloquently.
So eloquently,
we're
Cameron.
also in an unnamed state in the South. They're like, oh, I don't know, boy.
I don't know about this.
It put baby in a corner and it just stood there.
I do.
All right, get your trap set. Yep,
So-
I'll wait here.
So guys, halfway
I don't know what this is, but it's almost certainly a liberal plot.
through Nightbeast, they find out a way that a weakness of the Nightbeast, and
I'm thinking of another very prominent movie
okay.
that clearly stole from this movie.
The same weakness for pigeons.
So we keep saying this is in the
Looking at
South,
you, M. Night Shyamalan,
but
however the fuck you say your name.
I think it's M. Night Shyamalan.
Watch what you're saying. Lord.
That's your theory.
Okay, well,
That's what's great about America.
oh,
What was your point?
We can all have. Yeah, Andrew, stay on topic. Jesus, man.
you know what?
Stop diverging.
Look at the clock.
You're running out of time.
Listen, it says here on, so we keep saying it's in the South,
Tie
which
a nice
just
bow.
by looking at it, I'll kill you, Ron.
Throw me like one of those cats.
I would.
Throw me like a jellicle cat over that Mexican spin.
Jellicle cat. This says that it takes place. So I think we just think it's in the South because it's just fucking bumpkin as fuck. According to this, it says it takes from the alien killing residents in Perry Hall, Maryland.
I mean,
Okay,
they
that
filmed it in Maryland, so it would
Yeah.
make sense. That okay?
That
To
explains
be fair,
the lack of shot.
full
The
disclosure. Yeah, and full disclosure, like this movie was shot in Maryland. They're saying it's Maryland, so maybe we've just all. Has anyone here ever been to Maryland? I've been to Bethesda once.
I got
I don't
relatives
know.
in Maryland. I got family there, so yeah.
Do they have redneck ass places like
They
this?
have to. Pennsylvania has redneck ass places.
I was about to say there are definitely places like that, but
Okay.
I fully felt Southern on this entirety of the film.
Oh, for
I would
sure.
not have
There's
said
something.
this is shot in Maryland.
This
Yeah.
is yeah.
No point during it was I like, damn, yep, my backyard.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, it feels like it's Huntsville.
Yeah, dude. It
Feels
feels
like someplace where it's like
yeah, like okay, it's like yeah, dude. It feels fucking gross, dude.
yeah, I feel sticky just watching it.
I feel mad. I feel like I committed a crime watching this, dude.
Was there Spanish moss in the trees during it, or am I confusing my movies right now?
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding.
There may have been Spanish
I was about to say, I feel like that's what made me feel it was Southern, was the scenery, but
Spanish moss.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was filmed. Do they have Spanish moss?
you know what? We could look it up. They might. I don't
not
know.
looking it
Ron,
up.
I
I
feel like
don't
that's
know
a
the
bad
distribution.
podcast.
I'm not looking it up.
This
Ron.
is
I
our
don't
first
know.
one, but I feel like it's a bad podcast. So.
Yeah, I just derailed it. It's all.
For anybody who wants to contribute to our Patreon,
Oh, there we go.
we will look up if Spanish moss was used in the background of the film. It's just
Also-
going to cost you $5 a month.
And
That
also,
info
you
can
get
be
shots of Ron's feet,
There we
Ron's
go.
feet. There's going to be honey involved. It's
some
fantastic.
marmalade.
Details are forthcoming. We're
some
looking it
sticks of
up.
cinnamon,
Let me tell you something.
maybe some
Brave new
koi.
world.
Yeah. Wait, you like the fish?
The fish?
Do you
Yes.
have peanut butter on your toes or what? Like,
They'll go for honey, buddy.
Go for honey.
There
bunny.
you go. Yep.
Wow.
Cameron was a little.
You look me in the
astounded
eyes.
there.
I'm about to come over the table. You say that to me.
Cameron, don't do
You
it.
say that to
Cameron,
me.
it's not worth
We
it.
both have kids. You look me in the eyes. You
Cameron,
say
don't-
they
They
go
go.
after honey.
Cameron,
for
don't do it. He
buddy.
has priors. Don't do it.
My God, you're like the bad guy in Something Wicked This Way Comes.
You're-
He had sex priors.
You're like if the Coen
What's
brothers
wrong with
made
you?
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, we're staying on topic. We're staying on topic. This is
Oh, yeah,
a
no-
lean podcast.
Real quick, before we get any further to wrapping that one up, I just want to say they did Jamie dirty, and he was a real one.
Jamie
Wait, which
rocks.
one was Jamie?
Jamie
solved all of the issues during the movie.
The whole movie.
Was Jamie the
whole
best
movie.
friend?
He's the best character in the whole fucking
Yes.
thing.
Was
Yes,
he the best?
Jamie's
The best friend
friend.
whose girlfriend
Yep.
gets murdered
Yeah,
by
yep,
Drago.
yeah.
Yep.
yes,
Jamie.
yes.
Jamie's
Dude.
the rock star
Jamie
in the movie.
was the hidden main character.
Yes,
Mhm.
that is correct. You are
Um,
correct.
I have before we go into the final questions of is it good or is it so bad it's good type thing. Unless anybody else has any points of order, I do have one more important thing I wanted to bring up, a piece of trivia about the film.
I think I have a.
Oh,
No, I think no. Just I like a bunch of Jaws reference in the film, but that's.
ooh, there's a Jaws reference?
No,
Tell us
just
about it
in
now.
general, like I was talking about earlier, just like the mayor, like it's like you gotta
Oh, having
evacuate
that
the town.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that dynamic after Jaws is in every fucking movie. It's
who's
just kind of
phone?
like.
So anyway, yeah, that dynamic.
They're that dynamic of like somebody in authority being like, well, we can't acknowledge the danger. It's like the COVID thing of
Yeah.
like, we can't say how dangerous it is, or people will,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
tough it out, guys.
Yeah, it's
It'll
gonna
be
be just
alright.
ignore it. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Look the other way. He'll be fine.
Oh wow.
Way to
But,
announce that.
What are you talking
a
about?
strange piece of
Yes, please.
miscellany of trivia about the film.
Minutia, if you will.
If you look at the soundtrack, who did the soundtrack?
Tangerine
And
Dream.
also the sound, yes, German electronica band, Tangerine Dream. And you look at the soundtrack and the sound editing. It is the first credit on IMDb for a teenager at that time named J.J. Abrams.
What Nightbeast is?
J.J. Abrams.
Whoa, first movie.
J.J. Abrams
Very nice.
subscribed.
Oh, I thought you said,
to-
"Oh, who's that?"
Who
Okay. I'm a plebeian, but please, come on.
sounds like a cool kid. Yeah.
I thought you were doing a bit. So wow, what was his?
So he did the sound. He did the musical score. He did the soundtrack,
No.
and he did the sound mixing. He subscribed to the magazine that Don Dohler started. His it was called Cinemagic. It was like a magazine that he sent out. to
It's
subscribers.
amazing.
J.J. Abrams subscribed. They started writing letters to each other, and I guess Don Dohler told him that he was making a movie, that he was making Nightbeast, and that he needed help with it. And Abrams, I guess, was kind of like, I know some stuff about sound mixing.
I can do it.
So he agreed to
Yeah.
be the sound mixer and do the score of the film. So
I thought- yeah, I
you
thought
look
that
at
sounds
J.J. Abrams, his
awesome.
first credit. His
Yeah.
first credit on IMDb.
Look at
is
that. Yeah,
nailed
J.J.
the
Abrams
Nightbeast.
worked on the film as a 16-year-old.
Nailed it.
16.
Abrams became aware of Dohler from the latter's articles in the film magazine, Cinemagic. After Dohler and Abrams exchanged correspondence, Dohler asked Abrams if he would be interested in scoring the film. The film was shot in Baltimore, Maryland. Abrams, who lived in Los Angeles, mailed the tapes to Dohler. That is badass as fuck.
Pretty awesome.
Also, most of the cast of The Alien Factor reprised their roles in Nightbeast. I'm guessing The Alien Factor is another one of Doller's films.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Well, Alien Factor is his first movie, and then he made the sequel like 30 years later.
I kind of want to see Alien Factor.
Yeah,
is that
well,
the one we
and
were talking about
apparently
earlier?
Nightbeast is largely a remake of it. You know, just what I've heard.
Okay.
Just with like a little bit more money. Not much.
Oh, how could you
It
have
all
less?
went into the phosphorus.
How could you have
is
less?
Is less money an option?
Is
There
the
was
guy who-
less shots of the alien.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's actually a masterpiece. It's all like moody and dark, and they're like, we didn't have money. So
We did-
we
The same
suggested
mayor is
the
just like,
presence
where's
of
my
the
whiskey?
alien. It was more of a philosophical force. You know, it's just like this Werner Herzog fucking trip.
The alien is not the only enemy. It is mostly your heart inside
We
that
see the
betrays
ultimate
you.
enemy when we look in the mirror and we're going through a third divorce. You're like,
Also, ray guns. Mostly ray guns.
ray guns, and if that was not enough, the ray guns look like penises.
They look like they are very phallic.
Throughout the movie, I honestly thought.
I was
there
going
were
to say,
two
Ron, let's see
aliens.
your best Werner Herzog. Go ahead.
Ron, give us your Werner Herzog impression.
Just kidding. You don't have to.
You don't have
I don't think he's ever
I
even
I
heard him
don't
speak.
have one, yeah.
But go
I
ahead.
didn't come on.
I was gonna say I honestly thought there were two aliens because one was just trigger happy as fuck, and I was like, my god, he's laying down cover fire.
Jesus.
And I figured the other one was just a martial artist expert. Like he was,
ripping people apart.
and honestly, it's like he was just given a little tickle because he just stuck his hand out and was like, "Ha
And then
dagger
just
hands,
guts out.
and just guts everywhere." But I honestly thought there were two throughout it. But it was honestly just a wonderful fight. I have to say, throughout all of this, yes,
Yep.
it was a really good alien.
By the way, if you do watch this on Tubi, there is a during the fight there is a color change in the quality of film at about 46 minutes and 50 seconds. At 46 minutes 50 seconds, all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened?"
I'm gonna have to review the. I got the restoration. I don't want to give the wrong company. I'm gonna say it's Vinegar Syndrome, but I got a. There's a really good restoration of it. It may have the same thing, and it may not be their fault because it may just be like
That
the
old
elements
one, yeah.
of like they filmed the rest of the fight a year later when they got more money kind of thing. I'm gonna have to look into it, but it is on Tubi. It does have a really nice Blu-ray. I'm gonna have to look who from. I want to say Vinegar Syndrome put it out a couple years ago.
But yeah, the last thing that I have to say about it is there's a lovely part where these kids are being chased by Nightbeast, and they come up to this. They don't even show the kids. It just shows this house, and these two 20-somethings are making out, and they stop making out because the girl's like, "Hey, don't you hear that?" It's like, "What? I don't hear anything." It's like, "No, I hear people running to the house," and he's like.
You
I don't
what?
hear anything. They're not. No one's coming. And he just tried to. He's like, no, I
Shut
hear
up and
it
kiss me with my hot mouth.
with my hot bourbon mouth. Come here. Tastes like your father's. Ugh.
There's a scene. I was
but-
trying to reference actually with the
yeah,
tickle fingers.
yeah. But
Yeah, of
but,
the
she,
alien.
but she's like, no, I can hear it. I can hear someone running. And finally, he goes out, and that's when like. But it shows the kid. But it
Triggers,
feels
yeah.
the kid like you hear the kids running. It's like I'm glad that her mutant ability is to sense kids running from inside a closed house. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I love how she grabs the gun, but then doesn't know how to use a gun.
Yeah.
It is now a club. I cannot shoot bullets. This is the only thing I can do.
This is it.
And then also, I would say the alien is a little merciful, in a sense.
Yeah.
It treats
Yeah.
the kids very well.
Which that
Yeah.
might be like a Predator-esque thing as well.
That yeah. Predator takes the time to explain that to be like, oh, this alien lands on a planet and looks for the apex predator.
Yes.
It looks for the most dangerous thing.
Yeah.
If you're not a threat, it's not interested. It's
not
looking
it,
for a
yeah.
trophy. This movie makes the very mature decision to not address that at all.
Yes.
It gives you that job.
Yes. But it
ambiguity.
also lets you know that locking the door and rolling up the windows really won't do shit.
When
As
you
long
have
as you-
a disintegrator ray gun, yes.
As long as you left the garden hose on, you should be fine.
You have that and a couple. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if they did a sequel, but it was only 10 minutes long, and it was some aggressively racist cop with a taser. It's just in the first. It just destroys it almost immediately.
Yeah, just immediately.
Because they're like, there's like it'll generate 5,000 volts. That should do it. And I think a taser has like 10 or 15. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that would be fun. Just a sequel that we could make that's like 10 minutes long. Like,
Nightbeast
seems it's dead.
Via lightning.
This thing looks pretty weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about this weird catfish I found. Let it taste the shit out of it.
Admiral Akbar, is that you?
Yeah, exactly.
Big fan. They don't even kill him. They're just able to subdue him, put him in cuffs, and just put him in Rikers for 20 years.
They just put him in a... They wouldn't even do that, because that would be like, that'd mean more taxes. They'd put him in a catfish farm. They'd put him like wherever you buy your swai from Kroger.
This is why Larry said this movie was racist.
Oh.
God, he is one ugly-looking fella, I'll tell you that, Nightbeast.
So good.
The tagline,
Alright.
if you have the guts, he wants them.
Oh, what a good tagline.
I know.
What a good tagline.
There you go.
Dude, should we end on that?
I think we should end on that. I think that both movies, final vote, I think this is another one where it is not so bad that it's good. It's actually good.
The plot is there.
Minus the sex.
If we're going, that sex scene seals it for me. I will say this: if we're going, I'll go first. If I have to go by the criteria of the last one, being like the script is there, the elements are there, the acts, of like act like 1, act 2, act 3, and the progression of stuff, it just happens to be lowbrow and low budget. Then yes, this is. I would say it's real hard for me to go through. Yes, it's pretty good. The acting is atrocious.
I was about to say,
Especially the
so
main
fucking-
character.
The main characters.
The acting.
No, so I'm
Okay.
I'm down with saying it's good, but only in a sense of it's just super low budget. Ron,
I
It's just-
I want
I
disagreement
have to
here.
I have to say that
You-
it's
it's just
so
so bad it's-
that it's good
Yeah.
because of the acting.
Fair enough.
dude,
Fair
that main
enough.
character.
Yeah.
Could-
Remnants, that sex scene, remnants of the room was like, that's the navel. That's not.
no.
Wow.
Oh,
Ooh.
my.
That's not even friends with the clitoris.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Where you
the
going,
best
buddy?
That's
sex
further
scene
south.
ever
They-
made.
My
Yes,
God.
No, they did. I agree that they had the plot, they had the story. The acting killed it in my mind. But so bad, it's good. I did enjoy watching it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Everyone, thank you so much for. I guess we've heard from all of our sponsors.
Yes, that's it.
so
We only have
at-
the two.
At this point in time,
Two
thank
commercials,
you
one sponsor.
so much for tuning in. We hope to hear from you again. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks, and
Yeah, that's
See
it.
you next time.
Ron's on work release, so we'll have him back as well. So
yeah. As long
Yeah.
as hearings go well, Ron will be back to join us.
God
And,
willing.
Yep. Everyone,
yeah.
everyone say, Cameron, say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ron,
Toodly doo.
bon voyage, motherfuckers. No, not end on that. Bye,
Don't
guys.
end on that.
Probably a pedophile.
Wait, what?
God damn
Oh
it.
no! Derailed. First podcast.
Oh,
And canceled.
That
it
will.
was a nice
well,
fucking